What is the best fertilizer for St. Augustine grass, and what is the best time to use it? I'm gonna go over that with you right now. Consider liking this video, and if I help you, subscribe, because it really helps support the channel. Now let's get right into it. Now the best fertilizer to use is of course gonna depend on the time of year. What time of year you're trying to apply fertilizer. So I'm gonna let you know best fertilizer at what time of year to use. Now St. Augustine grass needs an average of 2 to 4 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet per year. And I know that's quite a range, and that depends on the soil that you have. If you're here in St. Augustine, then you have a sandier soil. So sandier soils are gonna need a higher amount of nitrogen per year. So you'll be closer to that 4 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Now, if you're in somewhere like Texas with a more clay soil, or even some parts of Florida like Pensacola with a higher clay content, you're gonna use a lower amount of nitrogen, closer to the 2 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Now in the springtime, depending of course where you're at, which is gonna be anywhere from March to April, that's gonna be your window of when to apply a spring fertilizer. And a really important part of having a spring fertilizer is having twice as much nitrogen, the first number, as potassium, the last number. Good fertilizers examples are 24-211, 24-011, 20-010, and 16-4-8. Those are great examples of spring fertilizers. And now in the summertime, you should be what I call spoon feeding the lawn, feeding it micronutrients every 45 to 60 days in the summertime. Now, if you have nitrogen blackout dates, that's okay, because this is what you're gonna use. You're gonna make sure you use micronutrients such as iron, zinc, magnesium, manganese, boron, copper, things like that, humic acids, sea kelps, amino acids, things like that in the lawn that don't have any nitrogen in it, but are still giving the lawn the nutrients it needs to fight off that summer heat. Now, if you don't have fertilizer blackout dates, you can use a low amount of nitrogen with those micronutrients. And I'm talking anywhere from 4 to 10%. My favorite example of a good summertime fertilizer to use every 45 to 60 days is millorganite. A low amount of nitrogen, micronutrients, exactly what your lawn needs in the summertime without overdoing the nitrogen or underdoing the micronutrients. Now in the fall time, you want to give your lawn one last nitrogen feed before we come into a winter. And for a lot of people that have blackout dates, this will be a great time to give your lawn that nitrogen again, because it didn't have it all summer long, especially if you have sandy soil. In September and October, depending on where you're at, are gonna be the rough months of when you will be applying that fall fertilization. Now, I definitely recommend using a lower amount of nitrogen, like a 16-4-8, but a 15-0-15 blend is great as well. Usually the higher, where I recommend the 16-4-8 is gonna be places with the sandier soil or even little problematic thin lawns. And if you have more clay soil or even a thicker lawn, a 15-0-15 is a great blend of what you wanna use in the fall. Now, also what you're gonna apply in the wintertime makes a big difference. I always recommend using potassium in the winter. And if you're gonna be doing those potassium treatments throughout the winter time, then using a higher nitrogen blend in the fall will work, because you'll be feeding it that potassium. If you don't plan on doing any treatments or fertilizations over the winter, you're gonna wanna go with maybe a stress-free blend like a 7-0-20 or a 15-0-15. Now, winter time will start roughly around November, December. That's when you're gonna start transitioning to your winter applications, or what some people call winterizing the lawn. And this is just applying potassium or potash, which is a 0-0-50, to the lawn every 45 to 60 days. That is just gonna continue to feed the roots through the winter, which I highly recommend. I call feeding the lawn potassium in the winter training for the marathon, because the summers are so hot and brutal. Building that base in the wintertime is training for those hot summer months. So it's gonna be a really important thing to apply potassium. I even love to do humic acid in the wintertime every 45 to 60 days. Now this is a great rough guideline for fertilization. I have videos that go way more into detail about exactly when and how much to use, but this will give you a good base program of where you want to set out applying what nutrients when and what time of the year. And if this video has helped you, please consider liking and subscribing to help support the channel and help people find this video. Because if it helped you, it can definitely help someone else. I also offer online consultations, and I also have lawn kits for sale to make DIYing easier than ever. If you're ever interested in that, please email me at turforganics904@gmail.com, and I can get you more information about those kits and that online consultation. Good luck on having an awesome lawn, and everyone have a great rest of your day.